This next class we're going to look at how I can use Desmos to help me with these normal probabilities, right? These areas of shaded regions. Areas are probabilities in this section and this whole chapter. So you're going to have to understand that when you see area, that's this procedure we're talking about, but you may also see find the probability, and that will also be the procedure we're talking about. So I'm going to type in here normal DIST, and you can see the font changes from italicized to regular. Just open a parentheses, close it. That's what we call the standard normal distribution, which is what we have here, where the mean's 0, the standard deviation's 1. You could also type in 0 and 1 in the parentheses, because you will be putting in the mean and standard deviation in the future when they're not standard normal. But just know if you leave it blank, it defaults to standard normal. Alright, once you got that, I would just click this little plus sign just so you can zoom in around the bell curve so it kind of matches what you see on your screen. And then you're going to press right here where it says cumulative probability. Alright, this is a below probability. You can see there's a number here at z equals 0.83, but there's not a number to the left of that. So that is a left probability, meaning the area shaded is to the left of some number. Okay, now you have to choose down here, are we doing area or are we doing bounds? So we're finding an area, so I'm going to keep it on area, and now I just type in the number. Now this does say z and I'm typing in x, but don't worry about that. Just get the number in there right, and there's my value. Now it does want 4 places where Desmos only gives me 3. To get more places, you can click this little down arrow and it will reveal more places. You can also just click that button and it'll drop the value down with several more than 3 decimal places. Right? If you're comfortable rounding, just round it there. So this would be my probability. If you're not comfortable rounding, if you struggle with rounding, or you see you're always off, like just by 1 decimal place, you can always do the same procedure to get your values, and then out in front of this just write round, open the parentheses, and then at the very end of the number, comma, how many places do I need to round it to? So round it to 4, and it will round it accurately to 4 decimal places for you. Alright, this one is a right probability. You can see the number is on the left end of the shaded region, so the shaded region is to the right of the number. So for that case, we're going to select right. This is still standard normal, mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. And now I'll just change this number to negative 1.17. Gives me this number. I'm going to delete that. Drop that down 4 decimal places. That will be right here. Right? So that's going to be 8790. So that's the number I typed there, and check my answer. There's all you have to do for that. All right, now the next one is probably the easiest of all for these, because it is an inner and you have a left and a right, so you don't have to decide whether it's left or right. It's there's a number on the left side and a number on the right side, so it's going to give you both numbers down here. So I'm going to put in 0.94, and then for the next number I'm going to put in 1.28. Okay, so there's those 2 regions shaded. Click that from the last problem, drop down my probability, and then 4 places would be right there. I can see the next number is a 1, so that's going to be my probability. It's 0.7261. All right, now later on as you go through this, these are early on they're just find probability, 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 and that's the area option. When you get to, this is number 7, when you get to here, it reverses, and now we're given the area. These areas are always going to be between 0 and 1. So we're given an area, and we're told to find what is this z-score that has that area to the left of it. And that's what we refer to as the bounds procedure. So instead of an area, we're given the area, now we're trying to find bounds. So we're going to select bounds. This area that's given to me is to the left of the number. So this is a left bounds problem. All right, now we're just type the number in right here. This is the area, so 0.9394. There's the bounds. It wants it to 2 places. This does give it to 2. That's kind of the default for a z-score, so I can just type it there. But if I were to ever have a z-score of more than 2 places that it wants me around, same as before, I can click the down arrow and drop down several more decimal places if I need it. right, this one again, we're looking for the z-score. This z-score is a negative because it's below 0, and it's shaded now to the right. So I'm going to select to the right. This is a bounds because I'm given an area. I'm looking for a z-score. I'm going to type the z-score. I'm sorry, type the area. So 0.6950. There's the z-score. All right, to two places it's negative 0.51. And that's all I have to do for these problems. So basically what it comes down to is, are they giving me z-scores? And if so, I'm finding an area between, above, below the z-score or the z-scores if they're giving me two. Or is the problem I'm doing, is it giving me the area and I'm having to find the z-score associated with that area? Right, another way it can ask for these types of bounds problems is percentiles. So P4 means the 4th percentile. So the percentiles mean the same thing that I did before. It's just we're applying them to the normal distribution. So it means 4% of the data is below this number. So the bottom 4%, the top 96%. So which represents P4? It's going to be the one with 4% in the left tail shaded because it's the lowest 4%. So that's going to be this option over here. And then it's going to ask, all right, what would that number be? What's the score that corresponds to that? And again, it has mean is 0, standard deviation 1, so it's normal. So I'm going to do the same thing. This is below, right? I'm shading to the left, so that's a left probability. All the P problems with a P little subscript will be that. And then I want to change this to 4% as a decimal, so 0.4. So there's the bone density score. To two decimal places would be negative 0.75. So that's what I'm going to put. 1.75, I should say. That's what I'm going to put in there. All right, so that's another kind of variation of the bounds problem, are those percentile problems.